Welcome to the AIA live event. Thank you all for joining us. There's quite a number of you. I can't really read the comments, but thank you all for joining in. My name is Marko. I'm an actor, singer, and a comedian. Most of the time, I try. We here today at the AIA live event are gathering together as an online community to inspire, educate, and motivate you to live healthier, longer, and better lives. So, you guys want to get personal? Let's get personal. Let's go. All right. Whoa! This is the 10-year challenge, I think. This is me 10 years ago. That's me now. 10 years ago was 2010. That math, all right. Math is hard. 2010. It was a weird year for me. I was the biggest I had ever been. I think I was about 155 kilograms at that point, which is insane if you think about it. That's like, how much weight can you possibly have? But it is possible. And I started to kind of work out. I started to enjoy the idea of working out and going to the gym and stuff like that. But my whole life, I've struggled with body image issues. I've been big since I was a little kid. When I was born, I think I was born underweight. I was really small and really tiny. And so everyone around me was like, oh my God, we got to feed him. So I went from underweight to overweight like that. Like it was just, within a couple of years, it jumped all the way to the other side. And I think I first realized that when I was in primary 2, when I was 7 years old. The PE teacher kind of sat down in front of me and talked to me, and he said, look, you got a real problem because you weigh 111 kilograms at the age of 7. At the age of 7, it was really embarrassing for me because I couldn't buy school uniforms from the normal place. I had to get everything tailored specifically for me because I was that big. I didn't fit into any of the clothes. And it was also when I faced a lot of bullying. That was really rough for me. In my entire childhood in school, I had no friends. I was very strange. And everyone would laugh at me for being the way I was, for being big. So I kind of decided that if they're going to laugh at me, I'm going to control what they laugh at. I'm going to make sure that they're laughing at what I want them to laugh at. And that's kind of when I started to do comedy. I started to think of the idea of comedy. I started to mimic the accents that I hear on TV. And I loved it because then, I could do impressions of like Patrick from SpongeBob and all those kind of stuff. And but what are your 10-year challenges? Tag me in them. I would love to see your 10-year challenges because there's some people who go from like 0 to 100 in 10 years. So a lot can happen in 10 years, man. I wonder what's going to be like 10 years from now. Who knows? Let's see. All right. Whoa! Oh my gosh. If you can't see it, I don't know if you can see this, but I am adorable here. I'm in a bunny suit that has sequins all over it and like these little bunny ears, and that's my mom over there. Wow, look at this happy little boy. What were you dressed up as here? I think it's a rabbit. It was a little rabbit. I can't even remember what it was for, but it was, I think, probably one of the first few performances I ever did in my entire life. And I was a little hopping rabbit. And I remember being promised a lot of chocolate after the thing. So I hopped. I became the bunny. I became the rabbit, method acting. That's what you gotta do. Were you a natural born performer growing up? I kind of was. Actually, when I was a little kid, my mom tells me a lot that I would do all sorts of weird things. Like people would ask me to act like an old man, and I would do that. Or people would tell me to do weird things, and I would do it. But then it stopped once I got to school, and once I started being bullied, I just receded into this little well of self-loathing and self-doubt, and that's where it stopped. But I think something about being a performer is you have to be observant, I think. I mean, what do you guys think? About what makes a good performer? Because I think good performers are always the ones who are looking and observing things and being able to sort of mimic or, recreate things that they've seen, recreate emotions that they felt. That's what makes a good performer. So after that, I stayed very far away from performing. I did not want to be seen by anyone. I think I had pretty bad agoraphobia. Agoraphobia, if you don't know, is a fear of crowds or a fear of people, being around people. And that was very paralyzing for me because being in an all-boys school, it's terrifying. I was like constantly in fear, constantly sweating. Who were your first few fans as a kid? I think I had a little rotating one in my room. Comedy. It's probably my mom and my dad. I think my parents were both very proud of me throughout my entire life. And my lit teacher happened to be the one in charge of the drama CCA in my school. Her name is Sheila Gregory, and I owe everything to her because she's the one that pushed me for it. And I remember we were doing a reading of Animal Farm, and she was getting everyone in the class to read little bits of it. And when it came down to my turn, I would be like, and Snowball looked upon the other animals, and he said, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. And it was completely batshit crazy. Like who does that? But then after that, I think she was kind of like, you should try acting, you should try performing. And I was like, no way. I'm not, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not getting in front of everyone and performing, no way. So I first started out as a backstage person. And I believe that's so important. Like any actor, any performer, you have to start out at the backstage so you know what goes on behind the scenes. So that was what I did. I was doing props, I was doing, all these kind of things. And for me, just moving one chair onto stage was like terrifying. Like I remember for SYF that year, I had to move one black chair to the center. And before we go on stage, like none of the other actors were nervous. They were all just like, oh yeah, no, we're cool. And I'm the one going, and then when the lights go off and then we go, and then it's my cue and I run over and I put down the chair down and I'm like, yeah. Y'all see that? The chair there. So, that's when I kind of realized that I kind of like being in the spotlight. I kind of like people watching me. And I just took the chance because my teacher pushed me to it. And without her, I don't think I'd be doing what I do today. Yeah. So, on to the next. Hey! Oh man, these are 2 of my absolute best friends in the whole world. That's Nathan and that's Ollie. You might know Nathan, he's famous. Nathan Artono. I'm not name dropping, he really is a good friend of mine. And that's Ollie, he's a music teacher. These 2 guys are like my closest friends in the whole wide world. Who are your ride or die? These 2. And there are other people as well that I hold really close to my heart, but, right now, these 2 guys, I would trust them with my life, And that's so important. It's so important to have a good support system because these guys are always here for me. And, we're always here for each other. When something happens, when a breakup happens, or when, I don't know, like when you get a promotion or something, I don't know, anything. We gather and we celebrate and we jam and we make music. And that's how I've kind of been dealing with a lot of things in my life the past couple of years. Making music with these guys. We're not a band or anything. We just kind of make music for ourselves and then we record it and then we kind of just go, oh, ha ha ha, isn't that great? And the crazy thing is with these 2 guys, like I've never felt the kind of musical connection with anyone else other than these 2. When we jam together, you don't need to talk. We don't need to say what we're doing. We just end up doing this crazy monster jam of a song, and then we'll record it down on our phones, and the next day we'll be like, ha ha ha, wasn't that fun? So it's important to have a good support system. It's very, very important to have friends that you can fall back on, or family that you can fall back on. And even if you don't, like, there is someone out there who cares. There definitely will always be someone out there who cares for you. Like, I guarantee it. Personally, how do you keep your good vibes on? Just chill out, man. Just relax, you know? Well, I actually have this really cool story from when I went to Nepal a couple of years ago as a sort of like a grad trip kind of thing. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I signed up to climb a mountain. And on the TripAdvisor, they had pictures of old people on the top of the mountain going like that. And I thought, well, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And I prepared mountain songs. Like, I thought I was gonna, like, you know, have a backpack, you know, like the Hobbit going up, prancing up the mountain. But it was nothing like that. Like, the mountain, it wasn't even like, it was so steep. You weren't even walking. I was like on my hands and my knees half the time. And I think my mountain guide, my Sherpa, was very tickled by this because he was flying up the mountain, and I was just there going like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I remember halfway up the mountain, I looked behind me, and there was just nothing. Like literally like nothing. Like it's just rock and nothing. And when you look up at how far you have to climb, again, nothing. It's like you're hopeless. It's like you're trapped in the middle of the mountain. You can't take a break because if you take a break, then the sun sets and you know it's just not a good situation. So you have to keep going. And in that moment, I kind of realized like that's exactly like life. You know, if you spend too much time looking in the past and all the regrets and all the baggage that you take with you, it's going to weigh you down. It's going to scare you. And if you look too much into the future at how much you have to accomplish and all the things that you got to do, that's also going to freak you out. The best thing to do is to just look at where you are now and live in that moment. And that's what got me through the mountain climb, you know, the 4-hour hike up the mountain. This was just to concentrate, like left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, stuff like that, you know. So always, you know, be in the moment and find what makes you happy and do it. Do it like with no, like don't even hold yourself back. Like if, you know, whatever you love to do, just throw yourself completely into it. Try juggling. I don't know, like, you know, juggling's really fun. I just started learning how to juggle and that took up some time. And I know it's a really weird time right now with the coronavirus and everything happening. So I would definitely advise you guys to just stay home as much as you can, even though we're in phase 2. Like, let's be good. You know, let's try not to go out as much as often. You know, I can lots of people in the comments there agreeing. Thank you guys. You guys are smart. Stay home. Stay happy. Stay healthy. And always remember to think about being kind and spreading love. If you want love, it's got to come from you, no one else. Boom. That was cool. You get.